All of my dollars on corporate, so hand me the money, I divvy the pie. I'ma give all of my people a portion to build them a fortune on flipping the ride. I can't be mixy when iffy the vibe, and 40 on 50 is really the time. Why is you all on my phone like you want me, like you wasn't pushing the kid to the side? I don't know if you bitches are thinking I'm blind. Cross on my crosses and dot on my eyes. Done with your efforts, I'm dealing with pressures. I know it's a lesson, that's word of the wise. Dubbing the mixes, I'm mixing.
The way I do about anyone but you. If I were to lose you now, I don't know what I might do. You're in all of my dreams, whether I'm awake or I'm asleep. My love ain't going anywhere, babe, I'm in this way too deep. It takes courage to admit the truth. I've been waiting forever. Didn't dream before, but now I do. Yeah, I can't wait we're together. You give me feelings I never felt before. Now I lost my mind waiting for you to make up your save. I can't help it. I wanna be with you all the time. You give me feelings I never felt before. Now I lost my mind waiting for you to make up your save. I can't help it, and I do anything to make you mine. There is nothing I can do to make it go away. I'm in love with you, baby, and my love is here to stay. Love is a dangerous thing when my hands are trembling. Will you fall into me? It means more than anything. It takes courage to admit the truth. I've been waiting forever. Didn't dream before, but now I do. Yeah, I can't wait we're together. You give me feelings I never felt before. Now I lost my mind waiting for you to make up your save. I can't help it. I wanna be with you all the time. You give me feelings I never felt before. Now I lost my mind waiting for you to make up your save. I can't help it, and I do anything to make you mine, make you mine. Waiting for you to make up yours. You give me feelings.
Let's go to this. Alright, hello, hello, hello. Starting a bit early, just to get my face on the screen here. Hello. Hello, people. Anna Ammo, hello! How are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. Yes, we are back for some Wednesday action. Yes. I hope you're doing really well. Turn that down just a smidge. There we go. I'm doing wonderful. It's a very nice, wonderful day. Couple of changes on the horizon, at least for me. Buenos dias to you, Athena. Muy bien, y tú? I hope you're doing really well, Athena. I know, I had to get my car fixed yesterday. My engine light went on yesterday. Fortunately, it wasn't anything too serious, but yeah, I think it might be the end of the road for my car. I think it's gonna be one of those things. No problem. I'm always happy to ask, Athena. Always. I'm not very good with Spanish, but I know exactly what that means. Buddy, I drive a Nissan Sentra. Yeah. It's a 2014 Nissan Sentra, so. So my poor little Sentra is I've had 3 of them in the past now for the past 10 years, and yeah, I think it's time to retire the Sentra and maybe move on back to my old roots of having a Honda Civic. So the Sentras are nice, but the unfortunate part is it's just not durable. So maybe a Honda or Toyota is gonna be in my future. Nah, you're good, Wade. You're all good. You're all good, Wade. You're in good shape, my man. Hondas run forever? That's true. They do run quite a while. I think I'm really considering trading in my car to get a Honda. I actually own my car outright, so I have the title and everything. I can just up and move forward with my car. I don't know what kind of cars you guys got, but I know I got the weekend to look. Yeah, I don't know what else I'm gonna do with it, actually. It's had its share of issues, so, I mean, my car has had its certainly share of issues that need to... It probably will be better off with somebody who can take care of it more properly. So, right now my car is just sitting there and doing nothing, but having a car that's a little bit more reliable may be actually in the cards. Yes! I want a new car! Woo! Everybody here for a nice Wednesday chat. You have an 11 Jetta? You recently bought a Honda as a daily once the Jetta hit 150k? Alright. That's awesome. The Jetta lasts you quite a long time. I don't know if Nathan is here. You can check the user list to see if he's in chat or something. I actually honestly don't know. So maybe you could contact him. Are you talking Athena? Are you talking the VWs or Hondas? I'm actually kind of curious. VWs or Hondas? Are they? Which one's expensive to maintain? 2 Honda Civics. Jessica, hello. How are you doing? Wait, I have 78,000 on my Sentra. Yeah, 78,000 miles on my Sentra, thereabouts. Yeah, it's kind of, and it's already had its CVT replaced. I was pretty mad about that. Its CVT was replaced at like 56,000 miles. It was really sad. I was not happy about that. Doing good? How am I doing? I'm doing great. Discussing new cars. I know. It was still underneath manufacturer warranty, luckily. But I was like, how do you die? How does a CVT die, or not die, but how does a CVT, break down after 56,000 miles? Its timing belt was off, and I had to get it replaced. The whole thing. It would have cost me like 4,500. I'm like, that's absolutely insane. That doesn't make any sense. Come on now. That's not a good sign. So I'm like, if you're gonna keep maintaining the same architecture going forward, well then I'm out. I need to get a new car. I need to get a car that's not a Nissan, if that's how it's gonna go down. So, sustainability, that's correct. That's what it's about. I need to maintain my value and make sure I maintain my costs down, my repair costs down as well. I think I'll be able to get a good deal though. Honda 2 is the way to go, yeah. I did see really good reviews though for the Mazda 3, so said the Mazda 3 was pretty well done for a compact sedan. Look at all these wonderful people in chat already. We're almost here at 11 o'clock. We're getting ready to go. No. You want to see me stall 10 times at the same stop sign? Then we'll do stick. The people who can do stick, oh man, I respect you, but I'm just so bad at doing stick. I'm so bad at stick. I can't even. I tried, I'm like, yeah. I gotta admit, there's just certain things I'm just good at and certain things I'm not. Stick is definitely one of those things I am not good at. I tried when I first did driver's ed back in the day in high school. Yeah, that didn't go so well. That's where I got the 10 stalls at the same stop sign and was told by my teacher to get out. Good morning, Cool Dad Club. How are you? How you doing this morning? Very good. Excellent. Excellent. I hope everything is good with the fam. Ah, caffeinated. Nothing wrong with that. Aiken! Yo, buddy. How you doing, my friend? Megan! Hello, hello. Initial D? Got some Initial D. Nothing wrong with that. I love listening to Eurobeat. Eurobeat's so fun to listen to. You ever get that rush of adrenaline when you're just driving a car, you put on some Initial D and you're just like, oh my gosh, I gotta go fast. That's especially true when you're going down, going down 90 toward the city. You just like, next 8 miles. Next 8 miles till you get to the interchange where everything gets bottlenecked. You're just going 100. All right, I love Initial D music, man. It's addictive. It's too addictive. Yeah, I can easily play this, you know. This is this is this is this is Toho Eurobeat music. All right, just this little mix here, right? Well, I gotta be careful of DMCA and copyright stuff, so I gotta be careful about that. Of course, there's good Eurobeat music. Yeah, then you crash. Let's switch over to the. Well, I will listen to this here. Let's switch over to the main screen here. Let's get some banging Eurobeat music. Hey, Cars God, thanks for the follow. That's how you start a class, ladies and gentlemen. That's how you start a class. Dance party, heyo. Look like Wings of Redemption. No. I maybe a browner version. I don't know. No. All right, we got it. Wings of Redemption's pretty famous. I mean, he's been in the scene for quite a long time. All right, I gotta stop the music there, though. Yeah, I've heard of Wings of Redemption. Yeah. How does he look now, though? I haven't actually looked at his picture in years, so to be honest, I will be honest. Okay, I don't think I have the neck beard of Wings of Redemption. The body type, maybe I'm slightly a bit thinner. Slightly a bit thinner. I have a full beard. See, the full beard as opposed to the neck beard. All right. Anyway, we gotta get started here. All right, let's do this intro. Let's get started here. All right. Let's Yeah, I did Google him, Cars. I did Google him. I promise you, I did. Okay, so let's take a look here, and all right, let's do this intro. Let's get going here. All right. Okay, let's get started today. Welcome back to Wednesday, end of the week time today. So today we're going to pick up where we left off last time. Last time we were doing a very specific example here that I had made up here using a stem and leaf plot here in order for us to make up a box plot. Okay, and that is exactly where we're going to start from here once again today. Now, to give you a friendly reminder here about what we did a couple days ago, I did save the little mini project that we were kind of doing together there as our example. So let's go ahead and take a look at that example here once again. So I have it here up on screen. All right, so here you see the stem and leaf plot. All right, and what we did last time with this stem and leaf plot is we went ahead and found the first couple steps here. We first ordered the data set, all right, and we found the median, all right, which in this case we found it to be 24. All right, and hey, Major Man, how you doing, buddy? Just checking in. All right, buddy, you can join anytime, Major Man, anytime, my dude. You know you're always welcome. Legit, Major Man, good guy. Anytime, my friend, anytime. Then we went ahead and found the second step there was Q1 and Q3. So we found Q1 here, which was 17.5. After we found the median of the left half of the data set, everything, all the data items to the left of the median, we found the median of that. that particular data set. And Q3, which is the median of everything to the right of the median in the data set, we found that particular median, which we circled here in purple, so we found 17.5 and 39 here respectively. So that's where we ended off here last time, was doing that second step. And we're going to continue from this point forward here, and we're going to be able to finish off the latter half of this particular example here, and we're going to see how we can construct a box plot using this information that we see here on screen. All right, so let's go ahead and go over to let's go over and talk about a few other things here. So I'm going to go here, take a good look at the right side of the screen here. I'll actually shrink it down a bit so it's great. There we are. Okay, so we did the first two steps here. We're now going to move on to step number 3. Step number 3 states find the IQR. Okay, so this is where we're going to kind of go a little bit back and forth here. What is the IQR? The IQR is the interquartile range. Okay, so I've answered this question here back in question number 6. What is the interquartile range? So the interquartile range here is, again, we just label it as IQR, is going to take Q3 and subtract it by Q1. All right, so we're going to take Q3 and we'll subtract it by Q1. So what we see here on the left is we see Q3 and we also see Q1. Let us go ahead and do the next step here. Put you down here. So the IQR here is pretty simple. Again, Q1 minus Q3, or Q3 minus Q1, pardon me. So we're just going to take 39 and subtract it by 17.5. So here we're going to get 11.5. Okay, we're going to get actually 21.5. Sorry, I'm thinking 29 in my head, not 39. My apologies. Okay, we're going to get 21.5 here as our IQR here. All right, so we have that. We're ready to go. Okay. Now the question is, what are we going to use this IQR for? Now, as you see there on the screen, you can see number 7 here, which talks about lower and upper outlier boundaries. So I'm going to scroll down here for just a second back to number 9. And that's going to be step 4. Step 4 is for us to find the lower and upper outlier boundaries. And I'll talk about what the significance of this is shortly when we get to the last 2 steps here. But everything that we're doing here so far is just going ahead and setting up for those last 2 steps. So that's essentially what we're after. Okay, so let's take a good look here at step 4. I'm going to actually a little bit more space. All right. Okay. Okay, so step 4 here, let's do the lower outlier boundary first. Now I'm just going to label this as LOB for lower outlier boundary. Now I want you to take a look very carefully though at the 2 formulas that you see here on the screen. There is a distinct difference between the 2, so I want you to be aware about those differences. All right, the first one is that the lower outlier boundary here is Q1 minus 1.5 times IQR. So notice this is taking Q1 and subtracting by 1.5 or 1.5, whatever you want to call it, times the interquartile range. The upper outlier boundary, instead of using Q1, now uses Q3. And instead of subtraction, now uses addition. Okay, and then plus 1.5 times IQR, all right, for your guy right there. Okay, so we have that set and ready to go. Okay, so you can see the difference here. Lower uses minus, upper uses plus, lower uses Q1, upper uses 3, right? So they are different, all right? They're not the same. The only thing that's the same here is the 1.5 times IQR. Okay, So now let's talk about the lower outlier boundary here. So the lower outlier boundary here will be, again, Q1, which we found from before is 17.5. Minus 1.5 times our IQR that we found in the previous step, which was 21.5. Now, if you get a negative number, that's perfectly fine, okay? Don't worry about the fact that it's a negative number. That's not a big deal, okay? What we want to do is we're going to basically use these two boundary values as reference values. So you'll see where it kind of fits in here. So don't worry about the actual value if it's negative or anything like that. That's not a big deal here. Does anybody have an answer for me here in this case? Negative 14.75. Okay, good. Run with that. Excellent. Okay, so that's our lower outlier boundary. So we'll see exactly where that fits in just a moment. Okay, next is our upper outlier boundary. Okay, so our upper outlier boundary here is going to be Q3 plus 1.5 times our IQR. So we're going to take Q3, which is 39, plus 1.5 times your IQR here, which is going to be 21.5. Okay. And does anybody have an answer for this? We get here for our upper outlier boundary. Our upper outlier boundary here. 71.25. Okay, perfect. All right, excellent. All right, nice work. Okay, so far so good. Okay. Okay, now let's go ahead and see where these parts fit in when we want to go ahead and put together our upper outlier boundary here. Our upper and lower outlier boundaries here. So we'll come back to question 8 here. That'll come at the very end. But let's talk about steps 5 and step 6. Okay. So now step 5 and step 6 are going to specifically talk about the construction of the box plot itself. Okay, so the construction of the box plot itself is here in step 5 and step 6. Step 5 says, on a number line, draw a vertical line on Q1, the median, and Q3, and connect them together as a box. Okay. Now, let's take a look here. I'm going to come back to the steps here momentarily, but I'm going to need the full screen for this. So, I'm going to go ahead and put in a number line. So, let's put in a number line right here. And let's just go from 0. I'm just going to go by 5s. So, 5, 10, 15, 20. Go all the way up to 55 here. $35, 40, 45, and 50, and 55. The reason why I'm stopping at 55 here specifically is because the highest value in the data set, as we see here, is 52. So, okay. Now, I'm going to draw a vertical line at the 3 places indicated, which is going to be Q1, the median, and Q3. Okay, so Q1, median, and Q3. Let's take a good look at both of those. So Q1 here is 17.5. And again, since this is kind of drawn here, again, it's not going to be a perfect representation. Obviously, if you're using a machine style thing like a calculator, you're going to get more accuracy. So here's 17.5 is about there. The median here is 24. Yes, Megan, it is. It most certainly is. But so what I'm doing here, Megan, is I'm just breaking this down into two parts instead. I'm first doing the box part, and then I'm doing the whisker part. We'll just talk about the rules behind both of those there once we get to the whisker part there. But here's the box part here first is step 5. So now I've drawn out all three of these. Again, Q1, the median, and Q3, which is 39, which is right about there, close to 40. We'll just connect them as a box just like so. All right, so there's the first part there in getting our box put together. We'll go ahead and put in the numbers here, just about what they represent. So again, just for your sake of your ease of use. 17 and a half, 24, 39. Okay, 17 and a half, 24, and 39 is going to be our guys right here. Hey, Yusuf. Yeah, doing really well, my friend. Doing well. Okay. Are there any questions? I hope you're doing well, Yusuf. Are there any questions about the box part here so far? Any questions so far? Nope. All right. Gotcha. Nope. Oh, we got the Moo crew out. Oh, I gonna try this drink here. Wow, that is something. Whew. All right, so I got a different drink here today for the class, and that was I got this Japanese Aojiru. Um, it is a barley grass and a matcha shot in this small little container. So it has purified water, vegetable fiber, barley grass, matcha, gellan gum, yeast for color, ascorbic acid for vitamins, and it has a ton of zinc. All right, and give this a shot here because it's pretty high. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Ah, that tastes pretty good. Goes a little dry down the throat, but it's got a nice, it's got that nice matcha taste to it. Makes the barley grass go better. All right. Good stuff. Tastes like victory. All right. All right. No questions there. Let's move forward. Okay. Let's go to the last step here. I'm going to go and show off here the last step, which is the whiskers part here. Matcha's so good, you got that right. 100%. I got some my matcha green teas sitting in the fridge right now. Here you go. Actually, let me see if I got that here, cause let me hang on a second. Give me 1 second. All right. All right, on occasion, when somebody says something, you gotta bust out the important parts here. I have 4 of these in my fridge now, 3 of these. I have a green tea Swiss roll. Okay, so Swiss roll cake, green tea flavor. All right. So I mean, look at this. This is amazing. Look at this. Unbelievable. Wait, nobody say anything? Say what? What happened? Oh, okay. I don't know what happened, but we're gonna roll with it. Okay. Yeah, this stuff is legit. It's expensive, but if you want like a nice little thing here, oh my gosh, this stuff is so good. There's like 4-pack. You can get a 4-pack for like $6 from Mitsuwa, in Arlington Heights. So, I was just there the other day. Yeah. So I was just there yesterday. I was like, I gotta get me again some more roll cakes. This roll cake is delicious. The ramen is delicious. Yes, they know my order by heart at the ramen place. So, uh, outstanding. I also had some bamkuchen, but I already ate that, so I can't really show that to you because it's already already gone. Hmm. All right, let's get some let's get some whiskers out, everybody. Yeah, woo, baby, baby. All right, okay. So let's talk about the left whisker. All right, we're gonna draw the whiskers. We're gonna draw the whiskers here using the following. All right, so for the left whisker, we're gonna draw the whisker to the next data item in the data set. Bump the deed. Yes. All right. We're going to draw the whisker to the next data item in the data set, which is bigger than or equal to the lower outlier boundary. So we talked about the lower outlier boundary here. We said, okay, the lower outlier boundary here is negative 14.75. So let's put up I did this last time, so I'm going to do this again. What is the next data item in the data set bigger than the lower outlier boundary? All right. All right, so I'm going to put up a poll there. Let's put up a poll at the very top there. All you got to do is answer that correctly. All right. What's the next data item in the data set that's bigger than the lower outlier boundary? Go ahead and put up your votes now. You guys got a minute. Let's go ahead and check it out. What do you guys think? Let's put up this is the data set that we have here. Guys, give a vote there. What do you guys think? The next data item in the data set that is bigger than the lower outlier boundary. Again, negative 14.75. It looks like we got a 50-50 split here. Oh, now it's getting a bit more in the direction of 5. More people are saying 5. All right, just got a few more seconds. All right. So, 5, a lot of people pick 5. A couple people pick 52. That's fine. All right. Let's get the answer here. So the answer is 5. The answer is 5. Now, if you put down 52, that's okay. Let's talk about why it's 5 here. Again, it's always in the wording here, so you got to be a little bit careful. Okay, so let's go over the wording here, and let's talk about why it's 5 as opposed to 52. Thought he went chipbucks with that. That's okay. Okay, we'll do a prediction for the next one, Cool Dad, okay? And we'll do a prediction for the next one. All right? Then maybe you can win some channel points. All right? So, in this case, no problem. I'm here to help. All right. So we draw the whisker here. We want to draw it that's bigger than or equal to the lower outlier boundary. So the lower outlier boundary here was minus 14.75, okay? So we pick the next data item that's bigger than that negative value. And the next data item that's bigger than that minus value here is actually 5. If we, again, it has to be a data item in the data set. Okay, so that's part of the rule about how we draw the whisker there. And it has to be bigger than this lower outlier boundary here for the left whisker. Notice again, so how are we going to draw this out here? Let me go ahead and point that out here. How does this draw out? Well, let me draw the whisker here using purple. Not purple, I'll use orange. So I'm going to draw this left whisker here all the way out to the data item in the data set here, which is 5. So I'm going to draw it out here. Again, that's the next data item in the data set that's bigger than minus 14.75. So if we're going on a number line, that's the next one you're going to encounter. Okay, that's fine. Okay, now let's do let's do the other one here. Okay, so we'll go with a couple of them here. I gotta only pick 2. Okay, so let me pick 2 here. Yes, 1 or 1. Okay, so I got a prediction here. Let's put up a prediction. You got a minute here to put up your prediction. What is the gonna win some channel points here for sure if you can. Okay, the next data item in the data set that's less than the upper outlier boundary. So you can use your channel points there. This prediction at the top of the screen there. We got 30 seconds here. 52 or 42. Next data item in the data set less than the upper outlier boundary, which was 71.25. Holy smokes, 2,000. Anna with the 2,000. Whew. Mercy. Oof. Oh, everybody put in their points there. That I approve. All right, and time is up. All right, let's choose our prediction outcome here, and the answer is indeed 52. That's correct. So just for future reference, there, Megan. But that's okay. There'll be more opportunities for sure. It's at the top of the chat box. I don't know where it is on your phone, so the phone there is a little bit different, the app for the phone. Or at least it was. AJ, thanks for the follow. Appreciate you. Okay, so everybody, all you have to do is click on prediction, and you just have to click your channel point icon there, which is right below the chat box. You'll see something channel points. Channel points don't really mean anything though. You can cash them in for certain things like to get me to hydrate, or posture check, or ask a question, or highlight a message, or say something nice. So yeah, see, you can have me reset up in my chair. That's perfectly fine. What are you watching? You're watching Math 102, AJ. Math 102. Statistics. All right. So the answer here is 52. So we're going to draw a right whisker here. I'll put this here in green. We're We're going to draw a whisker here all the way out to 52, so which is right about here-ish. So there's 52 right there. And we have now successfully made a box plot for our data set. All right. All right. Any questions? Any questions about that? Yep. All right. Again, feel free. This is college. This is general ed statistics for college. AJ. All right. Great. Okay, so that takes care of the last part there of chapter 3. All right. Too many words. Everybody's got maybe too many words, but you got to do it. That's just how it rolls. Real life is a lot of words. Um oh yeah, I got to do one more thing here. Okay. Now, one thing I do have to talk about here, I actually have to do one more thing, is you'll be talking about a 5-number summary. A 5-number summary here. 5-number summary here. Okay, a 5-number summary here basically just summarizes a data set using the 5 most important points that you need to look at. So first and foremost here, uh, you take the first number here is the lowest value in the data set. Then you take Q1, median, Q3, and then the highest value in the data set here. All right. So if we want to go ahead and take a look at the 5-number summary here of this particular data set that we just did, 5-number summary is going to go like this. We take the lowest value here, which is 5, Q1, which we found out to be 17.5, median, which is 24, Q3, which is 39. There we go. Slightly more 39. And then finally, the high value here, which is 52. Here's our 5-number summary here in this instance. Cool, Dad. Time you out here for just a second. Sorry about that. I can't, bearing is sadness. No, nothing wrong with you. I just, nothing wrong with that person. I'm gonna let him back. If you could let them back in, that'd be good. I would unban them back in. That'd be good. I don't know how to unban them. I know how to unban. How do I unban? I don't know how to unban people. Oh. This is not good. There we go. Untimeout. Yay. Perfect. Yeah, just make sure you don't swear, please. I want you to keep your language clean, okay? All right. When will I upload this past Monday's class to YouTube channel? Kristen, I can upload that after I'm done with these two classes. So I'll upload that in the afternoon if you don't mind, Kristen. All right. Okay. Any questions? Yeah, no problem, no problem. Of course, of course. You just have to give a little bit of time for uploads and stuff. Looking at Gen Ed college stats. All right. All right. No questions here. All right, that's fine. All right. Next. All right. So I need to talk about something definitely serious here before we move on to chapter 5. I think a lot of people did ask about that last time. Last time we talked a little bit about the test, so I want to talk about the test here as well. All right. I now have it formalized. Everything is now finished with the test. So I'm gonna now discuss about the test here and talk about a little bit of the details here. And you'll again, for the sake of transparency, you'll see a few things here in action, so you know exactly what I have intended. So that way there's less confusion here at the end of the day. Okay. What I went ahead and did is I'm going to go ahead and take a look here. I want you to take a look here. I'm on a course tools here. And I'm going to go to the assignment manager. Oh, looks like Kristen didn't like somebody. Didn't like what they. Fair enough. All right. All right. So, I want you to take a look down here. I made up a practice test and the actual test. I haven't posted this up here yet. That's fine. That's fine. Relax, relax. Well, let's focus on the test here, guys. Okay. So I haven't posted this up here for anybody yet, but I will be assigning this here right now. So I'll be assigning this now, and I'll be assigning this now. Now, the due date for this is, I want you to take a look here, is the 21st. That is next Sunday. Okay, so next Sunday at 11:59 is when this test is due. Now, I set it up in a very particular way. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about, and I'll be making an announcement on D2L about this anyway. But again, for those of you who are here now, you guys will get the inside scoop right away. Is you have 10 hours to finish. Okay, so you have 600 minutes. People always complain about time. 10 hours to finish. You have a save for later option. Okay, you have a save for later option. The save for later option here is basically, again, you can come back, you can log off, you can come back and take the test where you left off. The only thing is that you cannot do problems you have attempted. Once you attempted those problems, save or no save, it's you have there. Will that pause the time? Yes, Megan, absolutely. And it will be built in to pause the time appropriately. Okay, so talk about that. You get 3 attempts. Okay, so best score wins. All right, so 3 attempts, best score wins. And on top of all of this, I want you to note the practice test here. All right, I want you to know the practice test. What counts as an attempt? Once you submit the entire exam, Toaster, that will count as an attempt. So once it'll say submit, you submit it, that will count as a full attempt. So that's the save for later option. So that'll be available to you, Toaster. If it looks like you can log off You can come back the next day. You can try it from where you picked up from where you left off, and then submit it afterwards, and that would be one attempt. So yes, you can go ahead and do that. One attempt is only if once you finish up all the questions, and then it will grade the questions accordingly. It's due on the 21st. If you take a look there on the screen there, Feiner, it's due on the 21st there, just like so. All right, that's a fair question. So let me see, how many did I put down here? I'm kind of selecting between the two here, so kind of forgot if it was 29 or 30. Oh, it was 30. Okay. Okay. So that's okay. That's okay. All right. So there are 30 questions on the test. So there's 30 questions on the test. Now, I do want to preface this by saying this, okay? Before anybody freaks out about anything, I want to specifically talk about the practice test, okay? Now, the practice test is the same 30 questions you will see on the test, okay? Just with different numbers. Yes. Some 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 questions there, Megan, have multiple parts, so you'll need to go through that, and to answer probably a question right after that for multiple parts, yes, you will get partial credit for the ones that you complete correctly. So, um, uh, absolutely, 100% partial credit is definitely going to be allowed. And of course, there'll be multiple parts there. So again, I've given you plenty of time of which to finish. You can work at a really comfortable pace for 10 hours, and you get 3 attempts per exam. As for the practice test here, I've given you all the available tools and resources, okay? So I've given you all the available tools and resources. So like the help me solve this, look at an example and stuff for the practice test. Obviously that won't be on for the real test. So again, you won't have those available to you there, but 3 attempts is, you get unlimited attempts there for the practice test so you can get used to the formatting and what the problems will look like there. All right. So as for the practice test is unlimited attempts. Um, unlimited time and attempt. Okay. Best score wins. Yes. Best score wins for the real test. Yeah. You have to do the practice test. Like I'm going to do it because will prepare me for the real test. But yeah, that's right. That's right, Toaster. Um, it will prep you for the real test because all 30 questions on the practice test are the exact 30 questions that you'll see on the real test, just not the same numbers. You can find the practice test there underneath assignments, Jorge. So you'll see that underneath assignments. If you click on assignments there, it should now be posted to my math lab if you're on my math lab there, Jorge. So again, just be sure that you can see that there, Jorge, and you should be good to go. But it should now be posted. Does anybody have any other questions about the test here? I wanted to be crystal clear with everybody to give you full transparency. Okay, I wanted to give you full transparency here about exactly what I intend for the test and to make sure that I alleviate any stress about taking these exams. So that way, again, you don't have to feel like it has to be super overwhelming. I know test time is usually the toughest time whenever we come around to it. So hopefully this will make it just as fair. Yes, Cheska, that's correct. So, uh, the homework will also be due here. So that was the other thing I was going to kind of showcase to you guys as well, that I can just change the dates here, so you guys will see this on screen. But I have, again, I just have the intention of doing that here. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that, Megan? Like, I don't know what you mean by multiple checks or something like that. Hey, Dave, you got to get over it. Math is part of life, and I appreciate the follow. So I'm going to change the due dates here for chapters 1 to be there that day. Yep. All changed up. All right. You guys have seen that for yourself. You guys should be there. That's only up to chapter 3, though. Would a basic graphing calculator be? Yes, that's correct. On the homework, it lets you answer the question again if you get it wrong. Yeah, so basically, the way it works is it's not going to give you Megan on the test, right? So on the test, it won't give you the feedback right away. Okay, so yes, indeed. Um, you just turned in some channel points for me to give you a thumbs up. That's what you did. You can trade in those channel points for the things that are listed there, so that's fine. There you go. Okay. So what it will tell you, Megan, specifically, hey, all right. What it will tell you there specifically is it will basically it will give you a feedback after you submit the exam, and it'll show you what your score is. Okay. So um, there we go. Like we got some there we go. Got it. Woo! So the winner would be the highest scores. That's what we're talking about. Yes, that's correct, Athena. I know, obviously, the first exam, there's always a air of confusion. So I'm taking this time away to make sure everybody is taken care of in terms of understanding that. Cool Dad, you're always a winner. Let's understand that. You have 2 amazing children and a lovely wife. You've won already, my friend. You have won. What a basic yes. So Kristen, the graphing calculator is just fine. That's correct. Jorge would like to ask a question. Ask a question, Jorge. Want to ask me a question? That's cool. I can ask a question though, really quick. Are there any other questions about the exam before we move forward here? Cool, Dad. You want to ask a question? Go ahead, my friend. On the test, if you get a question wrong and reattempt it and get it right with that question for half a point, you get one attempt per question. So it's due next Sunday there, Jorge. Next Sunday is when the test is due. There's not a day to take the test. You can take it over a period of days if you like, Jorge, or you can go ahead and take it on one day. You get the 3 attempts, you still get everything there, but the test to get the test done here, make sure that it's at least done by next Sunday. Okay? What's the last book I read? The last book I read was Ender's Game. That's the last book I read. What is my favorite color? My favorite color is blue. That's if you've noticed that the walls behind me are sky blue. Yep. The movie did botch it quite a bit. And then I was kind of into the next one there, the sequel to that book, which is he was the Speaker of the Dead. Azul indeed. Any other questions before we move on? Yeah, the movie couldn't stack up to what the book was. The book was very in depth. I felt that in the book Ender was much more mature by the end of it, so you could really see his progress of maturity at the end of the book. True. All right. No more questions? All right. So, that's what I want to talk about there. All right. So that is effectively the end of chapter 3. Let's look at the next one here. My handout. There, apparently. All right, let's go to the handout. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into a little bit of chapter 5 here today. We're going to try and get through most of this. Not most of this. We're going to get through all of this for next time for sure, but we're going to talk a little bit about this here. Chapter 5, which is when the fun starts. You thought, yeah, doing box plots was fun. Nah, nah, nah. Now we get to chapter 5, then, that's it. Chapter 5, no. Chapter 1 to 3 for the exam. So, all right. Chapter 5 is brand new material here, which will be for the second exam, but that's way, way, way. We're not even going to talk about that. However, Chapter 5 does deal with a very important topic here, and that is talking about probability. So we're going to talk about probability here, which in statistics here, one of the most important and most effective tools to make conclusions for studies based on. That stuff is based on. So we want to talk about probability here and how to calculate probability. Now, you probably have heard of probability before in some regard, okay, but we're going to get a little bit in depth here regarding how we can interpret said probability and how we can solve for said probability. one of the most important things in this chapter is it's going to preface just kind of logically going through the process and finding the particular probabilities depending on the wording here. I'll be stressing that throughout the course of this chapter. All right. Now, for us to understand probability, though, let's talk about this first one right here. Let's look at question 1 here. Question 1 says, what is a sample space? Okay, so the sample space here, the notation here for this is just the capital S, all right? But the sample space here is a collection of all possible outcomes in a probability experiment. So what's an example of this here? An example of this is saying, let's say we flip a coin. So if we flip a coin, there's only two possibilities here. The sample space will be either, again, heads, or it will be tails. That's it, right? That's the only two possibilities for a sample space when you flip a coin is heads or tails. Yeah. All right. So again, if we were to roll a 6-sided die, then the sample space would be all the numbers from 1 to 6. Okay, those are our 6 possibilities when we roll a die, and there you go. Actually, wait, don't I have that? Sure I do, right? Oh, maybe I put it is. Let's see. Hang on a sec. Relevance. Shall we? Gonna switch over to the other camera here for just a moment. Okay. So this here, my dice bag, it has lots of die in it. All right. So we can use these to help ourselves out with some probability. All right. So I use these for playing D&D. So absolutely 100% cool, Dad. This is my D&D bag. So I've collected a bunch of die over time. I do have some. I have one die that's really. But of course, I have. Oh, here it is. So here I have my 30-sided die. All right, so I have a 30-sided die there. Of course, we can't. Let's not forget here some other important die here. Captain Chaplin America. I love it. That's amazing. I love it. So here's our 20-sided die right here. Shiny. All right, I got some other 20-sided die. Here's our 12-sided die right here. I got sets of that. An 8-sided die. A 10-sided die, of course. Our percentile die. Got to have a percentile die here if you're doing that sort of stuff there. Of course, you have to have your 6-sided die just like that. And there's the 4-sided die right there. All right. So again, all these super helpful guy right there. All these guys super amazing. Okay. Again, we can look at odds there using any one of these die here, and then come up with a conclusion based on the probability of maybe rolling a number on that particular die. So that's again, I find it to be it's fairly important. Again, you're probably saying this is not important whatsoever. I'm saying probability can help save you money. It can help. It can help you make you money. All right, it's used in a lot of different industries, without question. So, talking about this here in detail can be incredibly important. Now, let's talk about what an event is. I'm going to talk a lot about events here. An event here is a collection of outcomes from a probability. This could be one or more outcomes. So, for example here, let's take our simple example. If we rolled our 6-sided die and I rolled it and I said, okay, what's the probability that I rolled a 4, okay, on this 6-sided die, all right? that 4, rolling a 4 would be a event. Okay, so that's essentially what this other part kind of talks about here. Is like, okay, well, say example here would be uh, an event would be rolling a 4. Or we can make combinations. We could say rolling a, you know, rolling a rolling a 5 or 6. Okay. Okay. So again, we can combine two outcomes. Maybe it's a 5 or a 6 that we rolled on the die. All right. That's certainly possible when we talk about events. All right. So we'll look at examples of that here, most definitely. Let's take a look here at the next part here is where uh what is an unusual event. So this is a comment, this is something that comes up from time to time here when it comes to certain does event have notation here? Yes, event is usually located yeah, actually I forgot to put notation there. Good question here. Notation here, it could be listed as any letter here. You could list it as, in the book they listed a letter E. I listed it as like a letter A. Again, I usually just write in the event, typically, but you can assign a letter to it if you want. So, so that's kind of the notation there. If you want to assign a letter to it, you can. You don't necessarily have to. I try and keep things as simple as possible. Sometimes you'll see me write in the event, and then sometimes you'll see me write it with letters. It just depends. For the generic stuff, I'll write it with letters. For the like real stuff, I'll actually just write it out in words because it's easier to visualize then. So um, we'll see examples of. You'll see me do that quite often. It reduces the amount of brain cramps. To be fair, cool dad. All right, let's look at number 3 here. Number 3 says, what is an unusual event? So an unusual event is when we figure out a probability is less than 5%. So that's kind of like we will see these in several questions here, not just this chapter, but in chapters going forward here. When the probability of that event is less than 5%, if we figure out that probability is less than 5%, then that is an unusual event. Okay, that's the threshold there. So 5%, less than 5%, that's considered unusual. So, however, it's like saying the same things like the chances of you winning the lottery. Okay, yeah, that's a pretty unusual event because the odds are so low. All right, so we'll actually talk about the lottery here in this chapter. So it'll be fun. All right, all right. Let's go to the notation here for the probability model. So the probability model here is if we want to figure out the probability of an event, we put in P of A. So P of A here, we take this probability of this event, and again, I just label it with any letter here. You'll see me put the capital A here as our event. All right, but you can literally put any letter you want here. It doesn't really matter. The book uses E, but I'm not a big fan of E. I like using A and B. It's easier. Um, okay. All right. Any questions so far about that? Any questions? Oink and nope. I'm gonna keep laughing at. All right. All right. Let's take a good look here at. Let's take a good look here at an example here. And the example I'm going to use here specifically is going to talk about. First of all, let's just talk about a. Um, let's talk about some of the properties here. Then we're going to look at the example here actually. So let's look at number 5 here. It says, what are some properties of probabilities? And these are properties that we'll see time and time again here. So again, just getting used to it now won't be so bad. So first of all, the probability of any event, no matter what event it is, has to be between 0 and 1, where 0 and 1 represent 0% and like 1%, if you want to think of it that way. So all our answers here are going to be either between 0 and 1. If you get an answer that's negative, you know you went wrong somewhere. You get an answer that's more than 1, you know you went wrong somewhere. That should never happen, okay? Now, the next part is, if the sample space is split up into many events, that's this A1, A2, all the way up to AN, then the sum of all those outcomes in the sample space must also equal 1. So if we take the probability of the first event plus the probability of the second event plus the probability of the last event, somehow, some way, they should all equal 1, even if they're not, even if they're not equal in probability, but at the end of the day, you add all those guys together and they should equal 1. So, where did that go? I'm going to bring this up here. Second. All right. So I'm going to go over here for just a second here. This is on page 239 in section 5.1. We're just going to do a couple of basic things here for the beginning part of section 5.1, but then we'll get to the more nitty gritty here for next time. But at least we can talk about this here. Let's take a look here and say, okay, this may or may not be a probability model. So we have the colors here. We have a red, green, blue, brown, yellow, and orange here. And we have probabilities for each of them here on the screen. Now, how do we know if this is a probability model or not? Know that this is a probability model, all we have to determine is if we add up these probabilities, no matter what these probabilities are, we have to add up these probabilities that's going to equal 1. And as long as each probability is also between 0 and 1 respectively. So what we have to do here is we just add up the numbers here. So we want to add them up just like so. Okay, so 0.3 plus 0.15 plus 0 plus another 0.15 plus 0.2 plus 0.2. And does that equal, what does that equal? Does that equal 1? That equal? Okay, it does equal 1. Okay, good. That's right. So that's correct. This indeed does equal 1. So because this probability model, not only all the probabilities are between 0 and 1, which is good, but since you add them together and they equal 1, then this is a valid, and for number 7 here, it is a valid probability model. So we can definitely say that here for this particular case. Okay, now the next one I want to do here really quick example here. I actually showcase this one off, and all right, so let's take a simple case here. Let's take a 6-sided die here once again. That looks all right. So let's take a 6-sided die. All right, so let's just take a simple 6-sided die here. Okay, and let's find out some probabilities. Okay, so I'm just going to write down some probabilities here. Let's see what we're working with. First of all, what's the probability that we roll a 2? What's the probability that we roll a 2? What do you guys think? Now, let's consider it this way. How many 2s are there on a 6-sided die? So let's take a look here. How many 2s are on the 6-sided die? There are There is 1, 2 on a 6-sided die, right? Jessica, that's correct. So there's 1, 2 on a 6-sided die. And how many? That's right. And how many possible faces do we have on a 6-sided die? Well, that's pretty easy. That's 6. So correctly stated here, 1 out of 6. Kristen, not 20%. 20% would be 1 out of 5. Would have a 1 out of 6. 1 out of 6 chance. So what I would like you to do here specifically is express it as a fraction and then do the division. So, oops, sorry. All right, so I'm going to put that down here as a note here. Express as a fraction first, and then do the division to reduce the confusion. So let me add that to the notes there. I think that's actually really good. Okay, there we are. Perfect. Alrighty, nice. Okay, now let's take a look at another one here. What's the probability that I roll a 5 or 6? What's the probability that I roll a 5 or a 6? One out of 3. Okay, so it says 5 or 6. That's correct, right? So we have 5 or 6. There's 2 numbers, right? That's right. There's 2 numbers that are 5 or 6 out of the 6 numbers possible on that. Very good. That's right. So then we can reduce that down to 1/3, and then you can convert that into a percentage if you want decimal and percentage after that. Okay, 1/3 is correct. Okay, good. Do one more here, and we're done. How about the probability of 1 and 2? The probability of 1 and 2. Probability we roll a 1 and 2. Say 1 out of 3. See some 1 out of 3 here. See 0. Well, I'm going to put down, all right, say 1 out of 3 there. All right. Let's take a look at the answer here. And Cool Dad, you are correct. The answer is 0. The wording here says 1 and 2. And the Cool Dad's reasoning is correct. You cannot simultaneously roll 1 and 2 on this at the same time on a 6-sided die. So one of the things that I do want to point out here is, as I kind of mentioned here earlier, but now this hopefully this little example should get your attention here. Wording is important. There is no way to get around this. Wording is important. If I say 5 or 6, yes, fine, that's 2 out of 6, that's 1/3. 1 and 2 is completely different. Okay, and if I said even 5 and 6, that's a completely different scenario than 5 or 6. So be very careful about the wording here in probability. We're going to have to be on the prowl about it when we take a look at certain examples here. And I'll certainly point them out to you. All right, I'm going to stop here for today. Are there any other questions you guys have? I'll be posting up an announcement here on D2L here later this afternoon. So you have there. There you go. End zone dance that. Yeah. that's how it is. Just like on your chair. You're like, What the dab? Okay. Oh, the dab. All right. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming on out here today to the stream. Again, no other questions. All right. We will see you all on Monday. We're going to finish off here 5152 here. Everyone, please enjoy your weekend here. All right. Stay safe. Stay safe. Stay safe. Stay healthy. And most importantly, stay sane, everybody. Have yourself a great one. All right. Take care of yourselves. All right, everybody. Bye.
Here we go again. Trying hard, but you wanna be my friend. Ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to. Here we go again. Call my bluff, I'ma be here till the end. I'm the one you ride, I'm the one you ride to. If you don't wanna change, ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to. If you don't wanna change, I can help you out. 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 Here we go again. Time is up and I'm calling up my friends. Ain't no wonder why, ain't no wonder right to. Here we go again. Call me up and you wanna be my friend. I'm the one you ride, I'm the one you ride to. If you don't wanna change, ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to. If you don't wanna change, I can help you out. 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 Look, if you don't wanna change, ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to. If you don't wanna change, I can help you out. 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 I just can't let you go. Lord knows that I've tried to. You said I was the only one. No one likes being lied to. You made this mess and left me with the pieces. Now I wanna burn all the bridges between us. I can't focus. I can't
Hey, how we doing? Hashtag legend. Oh man, I don't know if I'm no legend, but I'm a huge supporter. I can't lie about that. I'm really hoping for the football season for non-league to come back soon. I know Spencer has a lot of wonderful things lined up for the club. It's just a matter of getting the season back on track. Yep, cases are going down slowly here in the US as well, so the vaccines are working. It's just a matter of getting that stuff rolled out properly. Yeah, to volunteer for the vaccine schemes. Oh, that's good. Yeah, my sister was actually part of the vaccine trials here in the U.S. She was vaccinated. She was part of the vaccination group, but she didn't find out until many months later for the Moderna one. She definitely said that the second dose the second dose hits tougher than the first. But she said she was kind of sluggish for like a day or two, and then it was fully back to 100% after about a week. But at least that the antibodies are working exactly as they're intended to. That second shot is probably the most important one. It kind of gives you that full effectivity of the vaccine that's working in your system. So definitely worked for her. She hasn't gotten any complaints since, so Yeah, it does give you that over-the-top kind of body response that your body's like trying to tell you that you absolutely need. So if you're gonna feel like you're gonna feel like absolute crap for like a few hours or maybe a day, or day or two, it's worth it. It's worth it because then you'll be protected. So I definitely encourage everybody to go get a vaccine once it is available to you. And I think everybody benefits when everybody is healthy and can go outside and be themselves. Yeah, I can't wait for normality either. To be fair though, FD, it's gonna be like until August until we can finally see those results though. It'll be a very slow rollout until those things happen, okay? That's very important to know. Hey, Ashley, how are you doing? Normality is going to give you major anxiety. Why is that, if I may ask? I'm actually very curious. Because I mean, regular folks will not be able to get it until maybe the end of the year. I don't think so. I disagree, Athena. I think it's just the supply rollout's been a little slow, but um, pharmacies like CVS and Walgreens are going to be able to will be able to have vaccines actually later this month, Athena. So you're talking like 6,000 or more locations all over the United States. It'll be very accessible to everybody. Oh, I see, Ashley. Okay. I can understand that. Yeah, being in big groups can be a little bit daunting at times. It took me a little while to kind of get used to my antisocialness, but it I slowly kind of picked the way at it. Teaching was one of those things that really helped me. It gave me a lot of confidence to speak in public. Otherwise, I usually was pretty quiet and timid. I hope you find that medium as well. That can help you get over those anxiety issues. Need a first and second dose may take a while, but we'll try to stay positive. Of course. Stay positive. There are people here who look. There are people here who want to see you succeed and be well. All right, I can tell you that. We all want to see success. We all want to see the best. That's the most important part for everyone here today. Is to get to that point. I mean, it's fair to say that nobody wanted this to happen. It's completely understandable. Nobody wanted any of this to happen, but we're gonna get through it as best as possible in the most positive way possible. One of those, if life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. Because that's what we do. That lemonade has no sugar, that's not a bad thing. Less sugar is good for your health, Madison, hello, hello, hello. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. We've already had a very interesting day. I will say that. Jose, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that, man. Holy smokes! Oh my gosh, that's terrible. I hope you're okay. Are you okay? Yeah, rip indeed. Rip your car and rip the deer. But are you okay? I mean, Madison, I hope you're not injured or something. That'd be bad. Goodness. My favorite hashtag moment. Yeah, well, look, you can replace a car, okay, but your life is more important than a car. All right. So FD, have you hit a sheep before, or it's a lot of sheep and goats and stuff? Because I know a lot of farmland out there. So I don't know if that happens to be an issue though. How bad is the car? Yeah. Hazelnut, hello. How are you doing? The deer was okay? Great. Oh, that's good. Your safety is very important. I'm glad the deer is okay. I know we can say it's unfortunate for the car, but it's just an object. Sheep's all in the fields, that's fair, man. Vibing too hard, apparently, but I'm thriving. That's good. It took off your front bumper. Oof. 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 Mercy. Say if you're gonna hit a deer, speed up, never slow down. Okay. Is the deer paying? I'm not sure the deer has insurance. Not sure where it's gonna find insurance there. Maybe the deer has Geico. Okay, it's saved 50% on its car on its insurance. Take him to court. Good luck finding the deer. uh, Big deer, oh dear. That was. I like the puns, FD. I like the puns. I like the puns. I appreciate the good puns there, FD. Much love and much appreciation. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. We're gonna get started here in just a moment. I need to bring up something here for the class. Yep. sometimes the best jokes are the ones that you don't even know you made. That's the best part. I like those. Those are the best ones. All right. Let's get this party started, everybody. Let's get going here. All right. Let's do some intro. Get some food. Come back later. See you soon. Thanks, Fefty. You have a good one, my friend. You have a good one. All right. Okay, let's get started today. Welcome back to Wednesday, end of the week time today. So today we're going to be focusing on the latter part of chapter 3 and then we're going to get into chapter 5, okay? So that is what we are doing here today. All right, is going to talk a little bit about chapter 3 and a little bit more about chapter 5, all right? That's on the docket here for today. Okay, so what I'm going to have is we're going to pick up where we left off last time. Now, last time we did a particular example showcasing the first couple of steps of how to put together a box plot. Okay, so we said, okay, let's go ahead and bring this up on the big screen here. Let's get the big screen. Where's my face? Oh my gosh, there's my face. Oh, okay. So there's my face. It is a. All right. So we're going to take a look here at not this handout. Where's the other one? Have the other one? Just a second here. Apparently I closed the other one that I need. Be helpful if I had that. There you go. Ooh, indeed. All right. So we looked at the first two steps here. Number one, we ordered the data set and found the median. All right. Step 2 is we found Q1 and Q3. Now remember that Q1 here was, again, the 25th percentile, or again, the median of the data set to the left of the median, and Q3 was the 75th percentile, was the median to the right of the data set that's to the right of the median, pardon me. Okay, and what did that look like here? That looked exactly like this. Okay, so this is what our guy looked like. All right, no problemo. Okay, now what we're going to be showcasing here today is we're going to be showcasing here a couple of important things. Okay, first and foremost here, let's talk about the stem and leaf plot here. Okay, so we had the stem and leaf plot here, which was all our data items. Okay, and we found the median here for this particular random data set to be 32. We had Q1 to be 14.5 and Q3 to be 41. We're going to use this same exact example. This is the same example we talked about on Monday. So I haven't changed the numbers. I haven't done anything to it. It's exactly, I just screenshotted this. And I said, okay, we're going to work with this again so we know exactly where to pick up where we left off last time. So having this in front of us here, what we are going to do here first is we're going to go ahead and put together here the third step here. So let's go to the third step. All right, and right. So the third step here is to find the IQR. Now I'm going to kind of scroll back and forth here. Let me put it as a side screen here. Let's do screen and sides here. Ba-bam. All right. So what is the IQR here? The IQR here is the interquartile range. That is what question 6 on the handout is referring to. So IQR referencing the interquartile range. And the interquartile range here, the IQR here, is equal to Q3 minus Q1. So Q3 minus Q1 is the interquartile range. So let's put step 3 here on the side. All right. Okay. Okay, so the IQR here is going to be Q3 minus Q1. All right, so let's do that here. All right, and for us to go ahead and do that here, we're going to have that equal to, we're going to take our Q3 here, which was going to be equal to 41. Minus 14 and a half. Okay. All right. And so if we go ahead and do that here, that's going to net us, what is that, 26.5. Okay, so that's the interquartile range, which is 26 and a half. All right. Okay, any questions about that so far? Okay. Ah, yes, today's drink, by the way, is this you show off today's drink. Today's drink is Japanese aojiru. All right? Japanese aojiru, which is barley grass and a matcha shot. Okay, so barley grass and a matcha shot. It has a nice aftertaste to it of matcha, and it takes off the bitter taste of the grass. So it's super healthy for you too. It's got 20 calories in this bottle. It has 80% of zinc. 80% of zinc in this bottle. 80%. That's a very large amount. All right, so, but I'll take it. I'll take it. It's still good. Thanks, son. It's still pretty good. All right. Okay. Let's take a good look here at the next part here. What are we going to use the IQR for? Well, let's talk about number 7 here. Number 7 says, what are the outlier boundaries? Okay, and we have the lower outlier boundary and upper outlier boundary. That's going to be step 4, by the way. Find the lower and upper outlier boundaries. So I want to take a look here specifically at this step here. And again, there is a difference between the lower outlier boundary and the upper outlier boundary. The lower outlier boundary here is going to be Q1 minus 1.5 times IQR. Okay, so again, the lower outlier boundary uses Q1, the first quartile, subtracted by 1.5 times the interquartile range, which we just found in the last step. The upper outlier boundary here is different. So instead of Q1, we use Q3. Note the difference there. We're not using Q1. We're using, like we did in the lower, we're using Q3 this time. So using quartile number 3 plus 1.5 times IQR. So notice here, let's note the difference here once again. Q1 for lower, Q3 for upper, minus for lower, plus for upper. Okay? There is a distinct difference between both of those formulas. All right. Now, for say ease of use here, I'm going to label this as LOB, lower outlier boundary. And what we're going to be using this for specifically, everyone, is we're going to be specifically using this for as a reference value. So whatever you get here for this value, even if it turns out to be negative, that's okay. All right, we are just going to be using this for reference purposes for when we put it together, the box plot there. So you'll see how that works here once we get to those last two steps there, but I'm just letting you know now, negative values are just fine. So here we get Q1 here. Q1 here is going to be 14.5 minus 1.5 times 26. All right, anybody got an answer for me here? 344.5? 14.5 minus 1.5 times 26.5. So you'd have to multiply first and then take 14.5 minus that. So here we're going to get minus 25.25 is correct. So I think I know what you did there, Alyssa, is you tried to do the subtraction first, but remember, order of operations says multiplication has to come first, and then you can do the subtraction. Just be a little bit careful about that there. Otherwise, just Alyssa, you can enter that into your calculator just as one little string, and you should be okay there. That way, make sure that let the calculator do the order of operations in your stead. Okay, cool. Okay, let's do the upper outlier boundary. The upper outlier boundary here says Q3 plus 1.5 times the IQR. So Q3 is 41 plus 1.5 times the IQR. Okay, and what do we get here in this case? What do we get for the upper outlier boundary? What do we get for the upper outlier boundary? 80.75. Okay, good. That sounds fine to me. Nice. Okay, so we'll be using these as reference points here in order for us to go ahead and put together our box plot. All right. Let's look at the next part here. Actually, before I do, are there any questions? Any questions at all? Any questions so far? Nope. No. Right, hopefully that makes it a bit easier. Moo. The Moo crew is out. We had the rival faction come out in the last class, JD. The Oinkers came out. Saying. Been represented rather well. No? Okay. That's just fine. All right. What noises do deers make? Eh? I think. That's almost like what does the fox say, like that meme. Memes are Okay, let's go move on to step 5 here. Step 5 here says on a number line, oink. There you go. On a number line, draw a vertical line on Q1, the median, and Q3 and connect them together as a box. So on a number line, draw a vertical line on Q1, the median, and Q3 and connect them together as a box. All right. So that is what we're going to do here next. So let's bring out the main screen here. Let's put up the this whole screen, and I'm gonna give myself a little bit more room. So I'm gonna make a number line here. Now we're just gonna go by fives here. All right. So again, I'll go all the way up to 60 since our largest value is 59 according to our data set. "25 and 30, and 35 and 40, and 45 and 50, and 55 and 60. Okay. So there we have it. We got it. Good beans. All right, now to basically do this out, let's go ahead and take a look here at the first part here, which was to draw some vertical lines at Q1, the median, and Q3. So Q1 here is 14 and a half. Now I'm not going to make a perfect box here, but we'll try our best. Okay, so since this is on a different thing. We'll draw it here at 14 and a half. We'll draw that first line. It's about here-ish. Okay, so not perfect, but it is what it is. 32 is about here-ish. Okay, ish. And 41, which is about here-ish. Okay, so here is where we're drawing these three vertical lines, and we're going to go ahead and connect them together in a box. So let's put together in a box. And the boom. Got it. Okay, so if we connect this together in a box, all right, this is basically the box part of our box plot. Okay, there's two parts to this. I'm going to talk about the box part here. But this is the box part of the box plot. Now, just to kind of highlight this really quick here, again, this value, I'll just put the values of what each of these lines represent. 14 and a half up here. Okay, this is 32 up here. And this is 41 over here. Okay. All right. Are there any questions about the box part of the box plot? I hope that part made sense about connecting it together. That should be okay. Okay. Yes, I've plotted just those three numbers so far, JD. That's correct. Yes. So let me go back to the steps here for just a moment for you. So that's what I've just done here. On the number line, we drew a vertical line on Q1, the median, and Q3. Just those three numbers so far. Okay. Now, let's take a good look here at the next part here. So the next part here basically says we're going to draw whiskers on this box plot. All right, so that's the next part here is drawing whiskers. Now we're going to have a left whisker and we're going to have a right whisker. So for the left whisker, we're going to draw the whisker to the next data item in the data set, which is bigger than or equal to the lower outlier boundary. All right, so let's take a quick poll here. All right, I want to see where everybody's at here. So All right, so let's see here. Okay, so I'm going to put up a 1-minute poll up top. It's right on top of the chat there. Let's put up a poll. Let's see what you guys think. What is the next data item that is bigger than the lower outlier boundary? The lower outlier boundary here is minus 25.25. What is the next data item that is bigger than the lower outlier boundary? You have 30 seconds. Go ahead and vote there up top. Do you think it's 3? It's 59. 4? It's 52. Have you guys see some votes here? Vote quickly. Okay, we got 5 seconds. Go ahead and make some votes. All right, so I had one person vote for 4 and 4 people vote for 3. Let's answer the question here. The answer for this is going to be 3. The answer is 3. That is correct. So let's take a good look about why it's 3 though. Okay, so the reason why it's 3 here is because of the fact that minus 25.25 is obviously not in the data set, but we want to pick the next data item that's bigger than the lower outlier boundary. And so the next one up here is going to be 3. So 3 is the next one up since this is negative. We get into the positive territory finally. And 3 is that next one up. Okay. All right. That's perfectly fine. Let's go ahead and try another one then. Okay. Let's try a new poll here. Okay. Okay. So this time I'll put up the poll for 2 minutes. Let's put this one up here. So what is the next data item that is lower than the upper outlier boundary? Okay. So because in our case here, that's going to be the next whisker here. Right whisker will be the going to draw the whisker to the next data item in the data set which is smaller than or equal to the upper outlier boundary here. So go ahead and put up your guess there about what you feel, and go ahead and see what everybody put down. Okay. Let's do the left whisker, by the way, while we're waiting for the results here of this next poll. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that whisker there. We're going to draw that whisker here out to 3. So again, notice that the whisker stops here at 3. Okay. We're also going to draw our right whisker, and I'll put that in orange once we go ahead and see what our results are going to be. You guys got a minute here. Go ahead and add in a few more values if and you want to vote up top there for the next data item that is lower than the upper outlier boundary here of 80.75. Okay, so we're going to draw this whisker here. The answer for this one here is indeed 59. So the ones who have selected 59 there are definitely correct about that. So poll will be over here, but 59 here is absolutely spot on. All right, so the answer is 59. Everybody selected that here correctly. All right, very nice. All right, good job. And as you can see here on the screen, we drew out the right whisker here all the way out to 59, and we marked it accordingly, just like so. Okay. Any questions there? No questions so far? Okay. All right. I'll move on if you don't have any questions. So, again, you guys will ask. Nope. Okay. That's perfectly fine. Okay. Next, let's talk about the next part here. There is one more question on the handout that we haven't acknowledged, and let's go ahead and talk about that here. So, the last question here on this particular guy, again, is going to be the 5-number summary. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Totally forgot about this part here. If there are any data items that are outside the lower outlier boundary or bigger than the upper outlier boundary, we can mark those with an X. Okay, so if they happen to be, let's say you had data items that were, again, like 81 or 87, then you basically mark that with an X out here. So you could be like, here's 87 out here, and you mark it with an X just like so. This is for extreme data items in the data set, so it can happen on occasion where the boundaries there are, you're restricted by those boundaries there, but you can't draw a whisker all the way out. Just letting you know that can certainly happen. Athena, you have yourself a good one. We'll see you on Wednesday. Yeah, see you Wednesday. Yes, miércoles. Okay, indeed. No, you probably wouldn't see that too often, unless the data set was pretty compact, Jose. So, but you take it into a consideration just in case. That's why the boundaries are there. They're kind of like the set boundaries for the entire box plot with the whiskers included. But if we have any extreme values in the data set, we just mark it with an X. And maybe that's just kind of one of those things that can happen in the data set, is that those extreme values just basically are there because it's just there. It happens. You have one crazy value and then everything else is pretty normal. So I wanted to go to okay. Okay, dokes. All right. The last thing that we're going to talk about here is the 5-number summary. So let's talk about the 5-number summary here. So the 5-number summary here is going to be talking about the 5 numbers that describe the entirety of the data set. So the 5 numbers that describe the entirety of the data set here is going to be the lowest value in the data set, Q1, the median, Q3, and the high value here of the data set. Okay, so the low value, Q1, the median, Q3, and the high value here as part of the data set. Okay, so what is the low value here? So the low value here, let's go low, again, Q1, median, Q3, and the high value here. If we want our 5-number summary here, our low value here is 3, our Q1 is 14.5, our median here is 32, our Q3 here is 41, and our high value here is 59. Okay, so we're going to have that just like so. All right, so that's how we can make our 5-number summary just like so. There we go. Any questions about that? Hopefully that's not too hard. Okay, I'll move on anyway. Not a problem. All right. Okay, so that is in effect the end of chapter 3. Okay, so that's the end of chapter 3. Now we have something very important to talk about here. Something very extremely important. Okay, so the thing that we're going to talk about here is we're going to talk about the test. Okay, so I know that was been a question that a lot of you guys have been asking me and clamoring me about is the test and what's going to happen here and what's the story about the exam. I said, fine, you guys are right. Okay, we need to talk about that here specifically, so let's talk about that right now. I'm going to set aside some time to talk about it. All right. So first and foremost here, before we get to chapter 5, again, the test is over chapters 1 to 3, so don't forget about that. That's important, right? But um, I'm going to bring up the whole course homepage here, by the way. So I'm going to bring this up on screen here. All right, and I'm going to kind of showcase a couple of things here just to, and I'll be making an announcement here on, I'll be making an announcement here, by the way, on D2L in regards to this as well. So, okay. Um, all right. Okay, so all the homework from chapters 1 to 3, okay, are due the day of the test, which is due on the 21st. That is next Sunday, okay? So all homework from chapters 1 to 3 are due on the 21st, which is next Sunday at 11:59. That also means that the test is due on that same day. Okay. So just want to point that out here. The test is due on the 21st. Again, next Sunday is when that test is due, okay? So far, so good. All right, now, I've now assigned the test, so you can find the test there on my math lab right as we speak, okay? It is all away, it is available to you here. Now let's talk about the particulars here regarding the exam. First and foremost, let's talk about the number of questions here. There are 30 questions here on this exam, okay? Just 30, all right? Now, let's talk about time. How much time do you have for this exam? Well, you have 10 hours of which to finish this exam. That should be plenty of time of which to finish an exam. I don't think that should be too much of a problem. You also will have a save for later option. All right, so the save for later option here, again, basically allows you to, allows you to come back to the exam, um, after you log off. So you can log off and you can come back to the exam after you log off and continue where we left off. However, but you cannot try the problems already answered from before. Okay, so there is a save for later option. You can come back to the exam after you log off. So let's say you do like a few questions one day, you can come back and do a few more questions the next day. You could take your time with it. It's not intended to be super stressful. There are 3 attempts. You get 3 attempts for the exam. Best score wins. All right, so just to let you know here, you get 3 attempts for the exam and the best score wins. All right, so the best score will be the one that we recorded, and that is how that will go. Yes, Before I move on here, there's a few more things to discuss, certainly. Are there any questions so far? Will we have a day where we ask practice questions on the stream? Excellent question, Planet. Um, kinda yes, and kinda. I actually will kinda acknowledge this question right now. So I've made up a practice exam for you. Okay. So the practice exam are the same exact 30 questions, just with different numbers, as the exam. Okay. So basically, all I did was just kind of copy pasta there. And I said, basically, I made the practice test that way. Now you get all the help you want there on the practice exam. So you get, you get the, show me an example. You says, help me solve this problem. You get all the benefits there. You can take the practice exam unlimited amount of times, and you get unlimited time on the practice exam. Once you're ready and once you're comfortable with the questions for the exam, then you can move practice exam to the real exam, and then you can go ahead and give it a shot. All right. So again, if you want to go down that route, I highly suggest you do so you get comfortable with the types of questions you see for the exam. All right. So I'm just be like, I want to be as transparent as possible about what types of questions you're going to see for the exam. There they are. There it is. All right. There's um, no craziness that is going to come around from doing it. There it is. Beans. Thanks, Jose. Um, guys, ask me any questions you guys have about the exams. So that way you guys are you feel like you're fully informed and prepared. So I'll be writing out an email to you guys, and I'll be putting up an announcement on D2L regarding the exam. So, but I want to be sure everybody is up and ready to go in terms of understanding what the expectations are for the exam. See, nice and simple. I promise you, nice and super simple. So hopefully that will take care of the, exam anxiety sort of stuff there. You get to work at a nice, comfortable pace and stuff like that. It shouldn't be anything too crazy. Will the homework open up again for the last exam, like with Alex? I'll make that decision later on, Planet. Yeah, that could be a possibility. But I would like you to work on the homework now, Planet. Like I said, it's a possibility, but not a certainty. The only reason why I did it with Alex, to be perfectly honest, Planet, is because I didn't like Alex, and I felt you guys got shafted a little. Are most of the questions multiple part, like you have to answer A, B, and C? Some questions are multiple part questions. Some questions are multiple choice questions. Just depends. So there's like what you see there for the homework. So there will be some multiple parts. Again, that's why I've given you so much time. Because I just be like, okay, if it's a multiple part question, maybe you want to take your time with that question. You don't have to feel like you're under the gun. I've literally given you 10 hours to finish the test. 10 hours should be plenty of time to finish up a 30 question test. And you get 3 attempts. Yep. Yep. Any other questions you guys got? Again, feel free to ask whatever. So, and the exam there is one of those things that everybody hates my guts. So everybody hates my guts. Gotta be clear about. Yeah, the exam is open right now for you, JD. So yeah, the exam is open from here until next Sunday. So you want to take it early? Go ahead. You can use an attempt to take it early. Absolutely. This is like at your pace. You don't have to take it on one day. Let's understand that I'm not like saying you have to take it next Sunday. No, you could take it anywhere between right now and next Sunday. And you don't have to necessarily even do the exam all on one day either. So understand that is like I'm not even asking you to take the whole exam in a day. No, you can take it in little mini bits and parts if you like to. One thing that I do suggest though is to try the practice exam first, so that way you get comfortable with the questions that will be on the exam. Exact questions that'll be on the exam. But once you have that down, then it's not so hard. So there'll be something that I'll probably need to show you as well. So we'll be doing that here together in a second. But anything else? Anything else you guys want to ask me for right now? Otherwise, I'll move forward with a couple other things here. One thing that I'll be doing here that I didn't really do in the first class, but I'll have to make that up to them. Okay. So what we're going to do now is there are no questions about the exam. We're going to go ahead and move forward here just a little bit. So if everybody has their calculator here, let's go ahead and go to the calculator. I'm going to use the calculator here just a little bit. Okay. I forgot to do this for this first class, but do it with you guys. All right. Now, what we're going to do here first is we're going to go ahead and enter in our data in our data set into our calculator. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to confirm these values that we had found earlier, like the median Q1 and Q3. You can actually physically go ahead and find out what those values are on the calculator itself. Let's take a look at how we can do that here together. So the first thing that we want to do here is hit the stat key. And then we want to go to edit to take a look at our lists. Now, if you have data there from before, we're going to clear out those lists. So we're going to go hit that clear key, hit enter, and highlight the list and hit that clear key and enter. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and put in all the values here that we have from before right on the screen. Okay, there we go. We have all the values there. All right. We have all the values there on the screen. All right. Once you guys have all the values there listed in your calculator, I want you to go ahead and type in yes in the chat, so that way I know that you've typed in everything on the calculator. So please type yes in the chat once you have all the numbers in your calculator. So I'll wait for you guys I'll wait for you guys here, but just type in yes in the chat. You have everything in the calculator. Check that later. Yes, yes, it's okay. Give another 30 seconds. Make sure that everybody's got their stuff taken care of. All right. Okay. So once you have all your numbers put into your calculator like that, let's go ahead and take a look at what you'll need to do next. What we'll need to do next here is we're going to hit the second key and the mode key. Go to our main screen. We're going to hit the stat key here once again. And we're going to go over to calc. Okay, so we're going to go over to calc. And we'll take a look at our friend here, 1VAR_stats, once again. Our friend here, 1VAR_stats, is going to be our friend here in this case one more time. So we take a look at 1VAR_stats. We're going to hit enter there. Highlight that. Hit enter. Now we don't want a frequency list here, so we're going to delete that. So again, we want our list here to be L1. If L1's not appearing on your screen, hit second and 1 to have L1 appear on your screen if it's not there. Your frequency list we want to delete out, so just delete out that frequency list if that's what you have there on your calculator. Just hit delete. And we just want to hit calculate. So on the old school calculator, you want 1VAR_stats L1. That's what you want there. And we're going to go ahead and hit enter. And let's see what we get. Okay, want to be sure here. Type yes in the chat if you got exactly what I have here on the screen. So type yes in the chat if you got exactly what I have here on the screen. Yeah. Okay, great. Okay, now let's take a look here. We can see the mean and the standard deviations and stuff. That stuff we've already seen before. But the more important part here is we can actually see the 5-number summary actually also on 1VAR_stats. Notice we have the minimum, the low value here of 3. We also have Q1 here, which is 14.5. We can scroll down here. We can see the median here, which is 32. We can scroll down here. We see Q3, which is 41. And we see the max value here, which is 59. So that is going to be our 5 values there that we have at the end of the day. All right, so we can see exactly, again, the 5-number summary, but if you want a quick reference of how you can find Q1, the median, and Q3, you can get those immediately right then and there. All right, good stuff. Okay. Questions about that? I hope everybody got that there. They got that down. They know how to use the calculator. That's a pretty important thing to do. All righty. Good beans and rice. Let's do it. All right. Nope. Nope, indeed. All right. Hopefully everybody's pretty on point here. All right, next. All right, so what we're going to talk about next year. I love rice. Well, me too. Beans and rice indeed. There is nothing wrong with that combination of anything. Now I'm in the mood for now I'm in the mood for Mexican food. Oh my gosh, I need some Mexican food in my life. Holy smokes. That's what I need, man. Oh, that does sound like good lunch right there. Mexican food. Mmm. Cause you like if I go to like a Mexican restaurant, it's always like I get the same thing. It's bistec con rajas. Every single time, bistec con rajas. I love me my enchiladas and stuff like that, but man, nothing beats my bistec con rajas. Oof. With some beans and rice on the side. Oh, with some corn tortillas. Oh my lord. Oh, in heaven. There you go. That's what it's about. Sounds so good. I think I'm gonna go order that too. Shoot. Bistec con rajas. All right. Gotta have some beef in your life. All right, very important. All right, let's move to chapter 5 before I get too hungry here. I'm making myself salivate over here. Oh no. All right. So today, for the latter half of this class here for today. Oh yeah, right. I forgot before we start here. As a friendly reminder to you guys, I was reminded this at the end of my last class here, guys. Is that we have no class on Monday. All right, so there's no class on Monday. Just as a friendly reminder, that is President's Day. I've completely forgot. I always forget about that. The fact that President's Day is like in the middle of February. So, um, yeah, there's no class on Monday. So the next time we're going to meet after today is going to be next Wednesday. All right. So just excuse me. Just excuse. Pardon me. Giving you a heads up here about that. Okay. All right. All right. So, okay. So in chapter 5, we're going to go right to chapter 5 here. By the way, chapter 4 here is going to be at the end of the course. So that's more relevant to what we do. And is in the middle. All right. Chapter 5 here is going to talk about probably one of the most important things here in this course, and probably one of the most fun things here in this course. That talks about probability. I'm going to talk about probability here in chapter 5. So we're going to talk about how to figure out what probability is. Again, why is it important here in the real world? As probability has a lot of applications there in the real world, absolutely 100%. All right, so we're going to see it in a lot of detail here throughout the course of this chapter. Okay, let's take a good look here at number 1. Number 1 says, what is a sample space? So the sample space has a notation here of the capital letter S. And as it's written here, the sample space is a collection of all possible outcomes in a probability experiment. So for example here, as I wrote up here, if you flip a coin, the only two possibilities if you flip a coin are going to be heads or tails. Okay? Or, let me go ahead and show this off here. Or if I have my die, so I have my die bag here for D&D, so I'll showcase that off here. There's my die bag. I have a 30-sided die right here. So my 30-sided die. There you go. I got a 6-sided die. Okay, so 6-sided die. There you go. I have a 4-sided die. 4-sided die. Yes, a 4-sided die. I have the classic 8-sided die. 8-sided die. So again, the probabilities are going to change depending on what kind of die I got. 12-sided die. Okay. I have my 10-sided die here. I have a percentile die here, and of course the classic, if you love Dungeons and Dragons, and of course we have, the perennial 20-sided die. So you got to have the 20-sided die there. That's pretty important. Okay, and so what we can do is we can find probabilities based on, say, what we roll here. If we talk about a sample space, let's take the simplest approach. Let's say we have a 6-sided die here. Well, then the sample space for rolling a 6-sided die here is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I am a collector of dice. Yes, I don't have like a super big collection, but I don't like, I don't want like a super huge collection, but I have enough die here to last me a lifetime. You could literally buy like a pound of dice for like, there you go. Haha, nerd. You're darn right I am, JD. Nothing wrong with that, bro. Nothing wrong with that. Being a nerd pays you cash. Yeah. I get paid, baby. Yeah. uh, too funny. All right. Okay, so with the sample space, oh my gosh. I get paid. All right, I'm just saying. uh, Hey, being a nerd has its benefits. He really said to make fun of me in the future, but you'd be working for me. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Remember, remember, this nerd, JD. I'm going to point something out here. I want to point the irony of that. This nerd, your professor, okay, has tricked you. Okay, I've tricked you, literally tricked you, right, into paying me. All right, you have literally paid me to give you work for nothing. All right, I've literally done. This nerd has tricked you. You are paying me money to give you work for free. I mean, it betters your education. This is very important. Yes. But if you think about it in those lines, I already reversed Unode from the very first day of the semester. Bam, baby. I got mine already. Mm-mm-mm. Yes, those fat stacks of cash. Mm-hmm. I feed my brain with math. Yes, that's true. It's true. I know how it rolls, man. Yeah. Now, do I think it's a worthy investment? Absolutely. Don't sound so proud it was the family. It's true. Okay, that's true. You ain't wrong about that. Planet, you ain't wrong. You ain't wrong about that. You're right. It was the family that had brought us together. You guys make a very wonderful family. I won't deny that. Your families have also paid me. I do appreciate their time as well. Thank you. Nah, but you guys are working really hard here. So I'm really proud of you guys. Actually, you guys have worked really hard, and you're putting in the time and the effort to come out to these streams. So I'm really happy about that. Legitimately, in all seriousness, I am really happy about that. That to get the most out of an investment is that you're investing in yourself. So that is definitely the positive I'm taking out of this, regardless. Okay, let's take a good look here at question number 2 here. Question 2 says, what is an event? So, an event is something we'll talk about quite often here when it comes to probability. An event is a collection of outcomes from a probability. This could be one or more outcomes. Let me just be perfectly honest here, Planet. I still love you anyway. You're just fine. Okay? You don't look like a clown to me. You're investing in yourself. And if you're investing in yourself to surpass me, Planet, then I will take that as a W. So if you promise me here today, Planet, that you will surpass me, I don't care if you surpass me as a clown or you surpass me as, as whatever. It don't matter. Okay? If you surpass me, then great. Chalk it up to a W. That's exactly what I want to set out for you to do in any capacity possible. And if this helps you get there, then that's what it happens. That's what we do. So just make me a promise to say someday I'm going to pass up Professor Chibs. I'll be like, all right, that's cool. I'm totally down with that. I will happily support you in that endeavor. So you may be paying me now, but at the end of the day, you'll be getting paid more. And I think that's just fine. Look, Planet, you've already taken one of my classes and did really well. I trust that you will do well in this one as well. You're putting forth the time and the effort, and yeah, you should be proud about about that fact. Look, if even if your family doesn't look, my family looked at me cross-eyed when I said I was going to be a math teacher because that's not what happens that's not what happens in my family. My family's always about doctor, lawyer, engineer. Okay, that's all they really think about, doctor, lawyer, engineer. So I'm like, fine. And my mom and dad were chemists, so they're all scientists and stuff like that. But I was like, you're gonna be a teacher. You're like, what the heck? Took them a while to wrap their head around it, but I'm like, yeah, I happen to like doing this as opposed to being a doctor or a lawyer or engineer. Like, as like those things don't really appeal to me that much. So, um, but if you, yeah, and and the thing is that's the purpose. We do this to do something that we like, that to prep ourselves for the future, to have that little bit of extra knowledge. And like I said, you surpassed me. That's my W right there. That is the W. That's the goal. Goal is to win. And if we win, the first win that you'll ever have is being better than where I'm sitting right now. And I will throw you a party, Planet JD, or anybody else in the chat once that happens. I'll be like, that's awesome. Everybody's better off. I am. Yeah. If I'm teaching future doctors, engineers, lawyers, nurses, whatever, then yeah, that's good. Because that we need people who are more capable than me. That's fine. That's fine. That's exactly right. That's fine. And I trust, JD and Planet and JD. Just because you're an artist doesn't mean you're less of a person. I don't understand that. You're an artist, yes, but that doesn't make you less of a person. That doesn't make you worse. It does. People who look down on people because they're in the arts, that doesn't make any sense. Okay? Maybe it makes you a lot of money, maybe it doesn't. But is it something that you love? Is it something that you never grow tired of? Yeah, maybe. I don't get paid the most amount of money. Let's be honest here. Let's be perfectly honest here. I don't get paid the most amount of money. I don't get paid a ton. All right? I I don't I don't get like thousands of dollars in my bank account, for whatever. Yeah, I don't get paid a lot, but I make do with what I have, and I'm just as happy about that, and that's perfectly fine. Sometimes to be a winner, you don't have to be necessarily financially motivated. True story, though. Let me tell you something, JD. Something about me that not many people know is that I have a degree. My mathematics degree is actually, this is true. This is true, JD. I'm going to point this out to you. You're going to laugh at this. I have a master's degree. I have a master's in arts, master's of arts, I guess I should say. I have a master's of arts in mathematics. I have a master's of arts in mathematics. Of all the things that you may think that makes no sense, but that is actually my formal degree. I have a master's of arts in mathematics. I should say of instead of. So, reason why I have a master's of arts in mathematics is because I went to a liberal arts school when I did my undergrad. So they only offered those type of degrees, and they just basically transferred it over when I got a master's. Even though mathematics is a science, and I'm more than happy to take that on. Irony, yes, but truth, yes. People look at that, they're like, huh? They're like, yeah, that happened. So I want you to be, yeah, see? At the end of the day, when you walk out of this class, if you're better, again, if you're a better person than when you walked in, just by a little bit, like I said the very first day of class, then I take that as a W. But the biggest W is that you become even better than what you become even better than where I'm currently sitting right now. That's the biggest W for me. And you come back to me and you maybe we see each other in the future and you say, "Hey Ali, hey Professor Chibs, I became a great success." And I will look at you and I will smile at you and I will be like, "That's wonderful. Great job. You did it. And you did it for you and you're happy because of it." There's no room for complaints. Doesn't matter what other people say, doesn't matter what other people think. That's what I think. And that's what I will tell you. You come see me again. That's how it rolls in this channel, in my class. Doesn't matter if I see you face to face. Doesn't matter if it's 20 years from now. I will say that same thing to you. I will be proud of you. I'll be sincerely proud of you, and I'll be like, I'm happy that I was a stepping stone to that success. All right, let's move forward here. All right, let's do number 2. Sorry about that. But I felt it was important to kind of stress that not to have people, you know, less worrying. Let's look to the optimistic future that we're gonna build, that you're gonna build for yourself. I sincerely believe that. What is an event? All right, an event is a collection of outcomes from a probability. It could be one or more of those outcomes. So we put notation here. We could put capital letters here for those outcomes. I usually write out the outcomes, but we could put in capital letters here, like E could represent an event. I put capital A. Like I said, you can assign a letter if you want here. So what's an event here? For example, if we took a 6-sided die and we rolled a 4, that's an event. Rolled the die, it showed up as a 4. Great. Okay. Maybe we rolled the die again. It showed up as a 5 or 6. The only one? I don't know about that. Surely there's more professors out there who give a darn. At least I think so. Look, I think that's what teachers should do. I don't think that I can't be the only one. I think that's what teachers should do because how would I put it? I've been browbeaten before like that, and it's not a nice feeling. And you know what? Um, there's the system there that you don't want to have it to let you down or anything like that. So that's kind of important there. I wonder, did I freeze up there? Did I freeze up there? Let's see. I don't think I did, but I did. Sorry about that. Okay, there we go. I yeah. So okay, I didn't. Okay, cool. I was getting afraid. I'm like, oh, what did I do? No. Okay. Right. No, I don't think I'm the only one that doesn't that cares. But I appreciate that's very kind words, Madison. It's very kind words. The same to you, Jose. Thank you very much. Very kind of you to say. All right, let's look at number 3. Um, what is an unusual event? So an unusual event is something that we will talk about here in later sections. Okay, so what is an unusual event? An unusual event is where the probability of the said event is less than 0.05 or 5%. Okay, that is going to be the threshold there for an unusual event. All right, so that is what we're going to have there. That shouldn't be too much of a problem. All right. Next is number 4. Number 4 says, where's the notation for a probability model? We're going to be using this throughout this chapter here, and that's going to be P of A here. So P, which just stands for probability of A, and A here, which is the event. Hey, Milky, how are you, my friend? I hope you're well. Hopefully James is on today, but just doing some probability stuff. I'm doing wonderful, my friend. Wonderful. Okay. Let's take a look here. This is going to be the last question, by the way, for what we're going to be doing here today, and then we'll be continuing on with section 5.1 here for next time. What are some properties of probabilities? Now, one thing about probabilities is, regardless of the probability of the event, that probability has to be between 0 and 1, or between 0 and 100%. Okay, hence why 0 and 1. If we have a sample space that has n amount of events, hence we have, again, A1, A2, all the way up to AN, then the sum of all the outcomes in the sample space must equal to 1. Okay? So, meaning to say, the probability of A1 plus the probability of A2 plus the probability of all the way out to the last event, which is AN, somehow that has to equal 1. They could be decimals, they could be fractions, but if you add them all up together, they have to equal 1 at the end of the day. Okay, now let's take a good look here at a good example, and we'll see how that works. Okay, so let's take a good look here at page. There we are. All right. So let's take a good look here at this probability model. So here we have number 7 here on the screen. Here we have the colors. We have some random colors here. We have red, green, blue, brown, yellow, and orange. And we have some probabilities here on the right-hand side. Now, the probabilities don't have to necessarily be equal, but these are the particular probabilities associated with each color, respectively. Okay, now if we want to conclude that if this is a proper probability model, all we're going to do is we're going to just add up all the probabilities here together, and we're going to see exactly what it comes out to be. So, can anybody tell me here, what do these values here equal to? If we add up all 6 of those numbers there, what should that equal to at the end of the day? I didn't include the 0 there, by the way, because it doesn't do anything. But what does that equal there at the end of the day? We add up all those numbers. What does that equal? 1. That's correct, JD. That's right. So because this equals 1, all right, this would be a proper probability model. So number 7 is a valid, probability model, since the sum of the probabilities equals 1. Okay, so that's one of the things that we can take to the bank here, is that you just add up the probabilities, no matter what those numbers are and how ugly that they may look, as long as those, first of all, the probabilities are between 0 and 1, and if you add up those decimals together or whatever, that the sum is going to equal 1 at the end of the day. It's a proper probability model. Now, I've gone over time here for today, so we're going to pick up from here for next time. We're going to do some quick probabilities here using our good old friend, the dies. All right, we'll take a look at those, and we'll take a look at some more examples here for next Wednesday. Okay, remember that we are not meeting here on Monday due to President's Day. Okay, so I'll be also posting up an announcement here on D2L regarding the exam, so that way that gets you nice and prepped and ready to go for next time. Yeah, no problem, Jose. I'm here to help, my dude. Anytime. All right. So, I want to thank all of you for coming out here to the stream once again. All of you have a very wonderful week. We'll be back in 1 week, okay? So, quite a long time here. Have a wonderful weekend. Everyone, I want you to stay safe, stay healthy, and most importantly, everybody, stay sane. All right? Have yourself a great one, everyone. And we will see you later. I'll have some office hours in the afternoon here should you want to talk. Again, email me should that be the case. Okay? All right. Have a great one, everybody. We will see you later. All right. Bye.